in this definition, everything available in the environment, means whatever things are available in the environment, they may be the resource, but the condition is these should satisfy our needs. And there are three conditions also for anything in the environment to become a resource. First thing, we should have technology to get that thing. Second, we should have money to buy that thing. And third, culturally acceptable. Culturally means different countries may have different things available in the environment, and if their culture, their religion accept that thing become the resource for them. Let us take the example. In India, basically the Hindus, they worship for the peace, they go to the temple. For temple is a resource for them. For Muslim, temple is not the resource, but their mosque is the resource. For Christian, their church is the resource. So culturally, here it is means culturally acceptable. The one culture may accept one thing as a resource, other culture may accept other thing as a resource. Second example, in India, many people are vegetarian. So vegetables, all these things are very essential resources for them. But there are some other people or in other countries where meat, mutton or non-veg things are the basic things of their life. So for those people, non-veg things are the basic resource. But for the other people who are vegetarian, for them, vegetables, pulses, they are the main source of their protein or their resource. So this way, let us come to the another topic. This another topic is classification of the resources. Children, there are 4 ways to classify the resources, as you are seeing on the board also. First is on the basis of origin. Second thing, on the basis of exhaustibility. Third, on the basis of ownership. Fourth, on the basis of status of development. Now let us study these 4 separately. On the basis of origin, the resources are of 2 types. One is biotic. Biotic means having life. Biology you study, so biotic means life. So your plant, animal, human, all these are biotic resources. Abiotic means non-living things. Non-living means just like metals, rocks, all these are abiotic resources. Now, next way is
excuse me, sir.
Exhaustibility.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you repeat?
On the basis.
Sir, can you repeat?
Which topic? You have joined recently?
Sir, yes, sir.
Who are joining now, they can after the.
Yes, sir, I joined recently.
After 12:30, they can ask me their queries individually. Now, on the basis of exhaustibility, exhaustibility means finish. So their resources are of 2 types. One, renewable resource, and second, non-renewable resource. Renewable means which can be renewed by physical, chemical and biological or mechanical processes. Solar, wind, water, all these are renewable resources. All these are basic things you studied in lower classes also. So there is no need of more explanation. Second is non-renewable resources. Non-renewable means which take very long geological time in their formation. Long geological time means, the geology means history of the earth, formation of the earth. So they take millions of years in their formation. So such resources are called non-renewable resources. Normally, minerals and fossil fuels are such type of resources. Next, on the basis of ownership, in 8th also you might have studied. Here, the 4 types of resources are there on the basis of ownership. One is individual. Individual means privately owned by individual person. You have your pen. This is your individual resource. Your parents have your house or you have the land. All these are individual resources. You have the book. So all the things which we use privately for our use, these are individual resources. There are many examples: plot, house, property. If you have your own tap for the water, so all these are individual resources. Now second is community resources. Community resources means the resources, the things which are accessible to all member of the community. Community means it may be a society, it may be a resident welfare association. A school is also a community. So a village is also a community. City may also be a community. So which are the things which are accessible to all members of the community? The roads which you use, they are the community resources. The playgrounds, the picnic spots, the public parks, or even the temple, even the burial grounds, cremation grounds, all these are the community resources. Next is national resources. National resources means all the land within the boundary of the country. You have seen the India's map. So whatever is within our boundary, all these resources are called national resources. Beside this boundary, 12 nautical mile. 12 nautical miles is approximately 22.2 kilometer. From the coast also is considered as national resources. So all the minerals, all the land, soil, forest within the boundary of the country are national resources. And children, government has the right to occupy or to acquire any of the national resource. You have the plot, you have the house, but if there is a need to construct a road over there or on that way, government can acquire that land. Government can give compensation. So, but you can't deny that this is my house. Government can acquire anything. You have seen in Delhi, the metro has many of the faces of metro are there. They are acquiring the land. So all such lands were private property. But now for the public cause, government has acquired all these things. So national resource means whatever is land is within the country for the government good, for the public cause, government can acquire all such things. Now last is international resources. International means beyond our boundary, beyond our exclusive economic zone. Now what is this exclusive economic zone? Exclusive economic zone is normally considered from the coast to 200 miles. This area is exclusive economic zone. Though in this area 12 nautical mile is within the boundary, and beyond 12 up to 200 miles, this is exclusive economic zone. And in this, the rule is the country which have the boundary over there, which have the coastline over there, has the right to use that resource of exclusive economic zone. But beyond that 200 nautical mile from the coast, no country has the right. It is the international resource. And international resources are basically the resources in the open oceans, in the seas. And in case any country want to use that resource, the government of that country has to take permission from the international organization, United Nations. You know, there is one example. Our country, our government has taken permission to mine manganese nodules from the bed of Indian Ocean, and that is beyond 200 nautical mile from the our coast. Within 2 nautical mile we can use it. Only the problem is between India and Sri Lanka. If such things are there, then that is divided into equally divided between the two countries. But where there is an open sea, many 100 miles distance is there, up to 200 mile is your, beyond 200 miles we have to take permission. We can't use any resource beyond 200 nautical miles. So all such resources are international resources, and there are international institutions which control these resources. Now, in the fourth category,
Sir, examples
on
of
the basis of
international institutions.
status of development. Status means stage of development. Just like in studied past, present, and future. So similarly, there are some resources which we have been using since past. There are some resources which we are using at present. There are some resources we can use in future. So this I have explained just like English terminology. In geography, based on the status of development, resources can be classified into 4 types. One is potential. Potential means which we have the technology, but we are not using on a large scale. We can use in future. So these resources which we can use in future, we have the resources are available, but we are not using. In future, we have kept those resources for the future. So those are the potential resources. Example, the example is the wind and solar energy in Rajasthan and Gujarat. There is huge potential of use of solar energy in Rajasthan and Gujarat. Now, develop the resources which we are using at present. So all such resources are called the develop, means we have the technology, resources are available, we are using those resources. So all such resources are called the developed resources. Next is stock. Stock means it is not the resource. Understand this thing, it is not the resource. It is the material in the environment which can satisfy our needs. But we don't have the technology to access these. We have the knowledge, but we don't have the technology.
Sir,
One example is that we all know in science.
sir,
Yes, Ilan.
Hello.
Yes. So
sir, please, I don't understand the previous topic, please. Can you explain me again?
you join late,
Yes, sir.
so you will get it later on. Now, the water is, you all in science, you study that water is a compound of hydrogen and oxygen. And you have also studied that hydrogen is the huge source of energy. But at present, we don't have the technology to separate molecules of oxygen and hydrogen from the water on a large scale. In labs, in my labs, testing may be done, but on large scale, we don't have such technology to separate molecules of hydrogen from the water. But in future, we may get such technology. That's why water in this way is a stock. You know, water, 3/4 part of the earth is covered by water. And if we get that technology, separate the molecules of hydrogen and oxygen from the water. From the hydrogen, we can run car, we can run everything we can use from the hydrogen. So at present, it is not there. So it is the material in the environment this way. So it is kept as the stock. Resource part is not there. Resources are only 2. One is potential, second is developed. Now, reserve. Reserve again. The things are available. Same example of water. But we are not using, we are using in limited quantity. You know, Water, only we have the use of water for irrigation, for generating hydroelectricity, and that also on the limited scale. So that's why water is a reserve. But in future, if we get that technology, it may become resource. After that, again come to this sequence. One is reserve. No, let us start stock, metal in the environment. Water was earlier also available. So we got some technology to use that water to construct dams, to convert that water into hydroelectricity. We have started using. Now it is a reserve. Now from reserve, it will come to the potential, and from potential, it may come the developed. So this way. Now next part is, you might have the query that what is resource development, because the name of the chapter is also resources and development. Children, in economics, the first chapter is development. You also want the development, your personal development. Development means anything which is progressing, which is increasing. That is the development. Now, what is, or using anything is also the development. If you have resources, you are not using those resources, it means you have not developed those resources. But if you have started using that resource, you have started resource development. Now, in past, people thought that resources are the free gifts of nature. Understand this line. Resources are the free gifts of nature. So many people consider, though it is not correct, resources are not free gifts. Resources are made by the human beings. The thing for which we have the technology, we have the economic feasibility, we culturally accept them, then only that thing become the resource. But many people thought that they are free gift, we are free to use the resource, and because of this, many problems have created. And these problems are, first is depletion of the resources. Depletion means slowly they are declining, their number is decreasing. So, many of the resources have depleted. And because of this, now we have started thinking about conservation of the resources. Second, accumulation of resources in few hands. Accumulation means collecting. There are some people who have the access of those, some people who are powerful, some countries who are powerful, they have access most of the resources. There are some other people who are not powerful, who don't have the resources, so they became poor, and all those who have the resources, they became rich. And because of this, the society has been divided in rich and poor. So this is another problem. So what is the solution of this problem? The solution also is there, equitable distribution of resources. In civics, you had studied that socialization, social economy. Socialization means equitable distribution of resources. There should be no rich and poor in the society. Everybody should have equal right. So because of this problem, we have started thinking about the socialism. Now third is, many of the ecological crises such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, land degradation also have created because of indiscriminate use of resources. Indiscriminate means without thinking. The word indiscriminate means without thinking, without rational thinking, without applying the mind. That is the indiscriminate. If we apply the mind, then we will use resources in a balanced way. So after this, what is the solution of all this problem? The solution is in two words. sustainable development. Means with development, another word is prefixed, that is sustainable. Sustained. In 8th class also, in chapter 1, you have studied the principles of sustainability. So what is sustainable development? Sustainable development means development without damaging the environment. First thing, without damaging the environment. And second thing, the present should not compromise with the needs of future generation. It means when we are doing any development, we should not damage the environment. We should not create the air pollution. We should not create the land degradation. We should not create the ozone layer depletion. Second, we have to keep some resources for our future generation. So future generation means that is the conservation. When you come to the definition of conservation, normally conservation means keeping the resources for our future generation, saving some resources for our future generation. That is the conservation. So after sustainable development, the worldwide also, the government or the at United Nations also, the different leaders of the world, they also discussed about this problem, these 3 problems. And in 1992, there was first International Earth Summit. It was convened by United Nations Development Program. It is basically United Nations. So United Nations Development Program. And in this summit was convened in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And the main things were to discussed in this meeting. Summit ka meaning hota meeting. So one is environmental protection and second is socio-economic development. Again, socio-economic development means equitable distribution. No rich and poor, no high caste, no low caste. So this is socio-economic development. Socio means this caste discrimination. And economic means economic discrimination. And the world leader, they discussed how can this socio-economic development at global level can be carried out. Second, how can the environment can be protected. And for this, those leaders, there were about 100 countries leaders mean prime minister, president of those countries. So they signed 2 declarations. One, global climatic change, and second, global biological diversity. Now, in this meeting, every meeting, there are some agenda points. Point number 1, point number 2, point number 3. In this meeting, same meeting, there was agenda 21. Agenda 21 means sustainable development. So this sustainable development word came after 1992 only. Before that, normally people thought that we are doing the development. But now the shift is from development to sustainable development or sustainable economic development. And in this sustainable development, what is there? How to combat environmental damage. Poverty means how to reduce the poverty from the earth. How to combat the diseases through global cooperation and common interest. Now, diseases, at world level, World Health Organization is there. Many times you might have heard when you were kids that polio drops. This pulse polio program was to eliminate the polio from the earth. Basically, when we also took this program, means our target was to eliminate polio from India. Nowadays, the new disease has come, coronavirus. So now the World Health Organization is also thinking, the global leaders, different prime ministers, presidents of the country, they have the online meetings, how to combat this problem also. The social distancing is one measure. The countries are also working on this line to develop some vaccines. So it is the World Health Organization duty, it is the United Nations duty to combat all the diseases, make all the people of the world a healthy and happy people. Now, next, after this, how can we achieve this? So, next is resource planning. So, planning means strategy. Understand, children? Planning means strategy. And that strategy should be widely accepted. You have come in class 10th. So you might have some strategy how to score good marks in class 10. So that is your planning. One word is strategy, other word is planning. In a football match or a cricket match, the captain develops some strategy. Means captain has some planning. In that strategy, the captain decides who will come first, or in football, who will be the goalkeeper, who will be the in front. So all this is strategy. In your teaching or learning also, you might have developed some strategy. In that strategy, you might have seen the different books available, which books are good books for you. You might have started searching some coaching institutes also, which coaching institute will provide you better coaching. Or you might have searched some other methods also, how much time you will devote a particular subject. So all this is your strategy. So all this is planning. So similarly, resource planning means widely accepted strategy for judicious use of the resources. Judicious का मीनिंग क्या होता है? जज जुडिशियस का मीनिंग कोई गलत नहीं होता है, मीन्स रैशनल थिंकिंग, सोच समझ के काम करना. दैट इज द जुडिशियस मीनिंग. Now, why is this resource planning important in our country? Now, let us come to this background. First thing, you all have studied that resource depletion took place. So, to solve the problem of depletion of the resources, we need the planning so that we can reduce this depletion of the resources. We can repair this depletion of the resources. Similarly, many of the environmental problems have developed. So through planning, we can solve these problems, because due to these environmental problems, the future of our planet is in danger. So we have to make planning for this. Now in our country, now another part is, why is it important in India? Actually, in India, resources are available. It is called that India is endowed with variety of resources, but these resources are unevenly distributed. Unevenly distributed means there are some areas where, or some states or some regions which are rich in certain resources, but they are deficient in other resources. Example is Arunachal Pradesh, you all know, is rich in water, but it lacks infrastructure. Infrastructure means roads are not there. How to develop that water resource of Arunachal Pradesh? Similarly, we all know Rajasthan is rich in solar and wind energy, and we also know that there is lack of water in Rajasthan. So how can we make balance? How can we make balance? How can we provide water? Indira Gandhi Canal, you might have studied somewhere, government in 70s, 80s, 1917, 80s, government developed a canal, Indira Gandhi Canal. And that Indira Gandhi Canal is now a boon for the people of Rajasthan. Why? Because after this canal, now people, they are getting water, sufficient water. I mean, this problem has solved somewhere. So it has solved after some planning. Now, next is conservation. So next is components of resource planning. Any of the planning basically has 3 or 4 components. Just like, let us give your example again. When you have passed class 9, you might have some strategy. First is preparation of the list of resources. This inventory means list of resources. So when you pass 9th, you might have prepared the list, which books are available, which books are in the syllabus of class 10th, which coaching center. So this is the preparation. This is the first stage. Directly you have not started learning any topic. First you have decided which are the books available, which good books are available, from where I can get the online notes. So this is the preparation of inventory or list of the resources. In resource term, normally it is done through surveying, mapping, quality and quantitative estimation. Means this particular area is rich in water, so we have to use that water resource. This particular area is rich in solar. How can we use this, make the solar energy in that area? Now, second, again, I'm coming to you. After getting all this, your study material, you might have developed some planning, some timetable. For you, it is the timetable. How much subject, how much time you have to give out in one subject. What will be your school timings? After school, how much you will devote a English subject, how much you will devote to science subject, or like on. Similarly, at government level, government decide about the technology, about the skill and institutional setup. Institutional setup meaning which government organization will be held responsible for using that resource. This is called institutional setup. Now, after this, now still actual use of resource has not been started. Now, third stage is actual use of the resource. Actual use of the resource means you have actually started your learning the lessons. Without actual use of the resource, the planning is nowhere. So third stage is very important, actual use of the resources. How much we have to use, and this actual use of the resources as per our goal. Suppose you have the goal of getting 95% marks in a particular subject. So accordingly, whether you are using your resource to get 95% marks, so accordingly, you are thoroughly going through your books or not. This is the actual use of the resource. At government level, actual use means matching the resource development plan with the overall national development plan. And this actual use of the resource cannot be achieved in one day. You cannot achieve 95 or 100% marks in one day study. You have to make your strategy. You have to make your daily schedule. Similarly, at government level, government make annual plans, government makes 5-year plans.
अब तो पक्का यकीन आ गया कि ये बढ़ती है, अब तो पक्का यकीन है,
or even
कोई
20 years plans also.
Sir, time हो गया.
Okay,